Let me ask you this. Pretty lady does stand-up comedy. How many dudes stopped messaging
That's
you?
That's my autobiography.
That's it.
Yeah. I cut to the chase. Everyone thinks it.
Well, because I asked this because with Tasha, all of her guy friends just disappeared as soon as I started showing up in the tagged photos. So like, did you notice like dudes that were like your friends that are just like,
yeah, absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
My followers dropped like this. I love it now. It's like a game where I'm like, let me post a photo of Brad and just see how many people don't comment on it. Or like my true friends come out of the woodwork, you know?
But it's different for me if I post a picture of just myself, or like if I were to be so brazen as to like, you know, go full naked, a full nude photo of myself, no one would comment on it. But if I have a loving picture of me and Kelsey together being a couple, 115 likes. You guys are so beautiful. It's like, you know what? I got a symmetrical face. I should make a fucking compliment.
You've actually gotten better looking with the shaved head, I think.
Oh yeah,
I think you've got like did you see their wedding photos? You had a real you had a good looking angle to you. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a clean head.
You both look great, but you're right. I mean, you and I could just tour on the bullshit that we have to deal with as far as like what society is like that society wants us to like well, you know that the ladies are out of our league on a certain level when we get so much love for posting their photo.
Yes.
And then in reverse. But there is a world out there of people that would appreciate our relationship. It's just not the followers that you built.
Yeah.
And you can't blame yourselves for that. Like there is just going to be a group of men that are going to want to see both of you guys because you're very beautiful. You're both very beautiful. And I just compliment people the whole podcast.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. I just woke beautiful. Up. That's what I need.
But it's true. And then it's kind of like reconfiguring your fan base in a way. I mean, for comedy, it's like build whatever fans you can.
You're 100% right. I definitely, when I first started doing stand-up, I kind of got told to portray myself a different way than I felt natural to myself. People would be like, do photo shoots, post sexy pictures. You can like get followers and then parlay them into stand-up. And it did not work that way. I got followers, but then the second I stopped posting those sexy photos, people were not interested in my stand-up.
Girl, we are in such the same boat. I mean, I've lost like 8,000 followers since Dave started appearing on my feed. It was like a slow bleed, but
Thanks,
folks. We got engaged. I lost another 1,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they want to see ass and titties, and they do not want to think about me being in a relationship. But it's interesting because I used to have such disdain for social media because I was posting things that weren't authentic to me, and I am so much happier getting 250 likes on a photo that feels more like me on the inside than I was getting 2,500 likes on like a bikini shot.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's hard to balance though, because I'm sure you understand this. There is that point every now and then where I'm like, I look really good in this photo and I'd love to post it, but then I go, but why am I posting it? It doesn't have anything to do with stand up, and it's me in a bikini or a tight clothing or something. So it's a weird balance of why do I want to post it, and is it still okay to post it?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we're allowed to be multifaceted, right?
Yeah.
But you hope that like the people who are following along and watching you appreciate all sides of you.
Don't. They never do. They don't.
We like all sides of you, Tasha. We like your backside, your front side. No, I mean, it is what it is. It's like, you just decide to say fuck them. But like I said, there are like, I do have friends that they're like known because they're like, they've used the power of their relationship on social media to kind of be a bigger thing.
Yeah.
But like, not that we're trying to do that, but also
But there's no reason why we couldn't. I mean, this relates sort of. I was watching this thing the other day. There's this sort of etiquette coach online that I follow. I was watching one of her videos on YouTube that basically said why you shouldn't post your significant other on social media. And people have told me this for a long time. Agents and managers, like, no, you should be single online, right? But that's just not my vibe. So I don't listen. I can't do anything smart for myself.
It's just not sustainable.
Well,
No,
but this woman's she had lots of arguments for why, you know, it could be beneficial to you to keep your relationship private. One being that like maybe he wants privacy, two being what if you break up and then you're with a different guy on social media, or what if God forbid they die or so, you know, like
these are terrible arguments so far.
But you're opening yourself up to I don't know. It's just like there are certain aspects of your life that you want to keep private, and it's a little bit more elegant to keep your relationship private, is basically her biggest argument. But she said the one exception is some people whose brand is them as a couple if they're making money off of being a couple on social media, a travel couple, a comedy couple, or whatever, then it makes sense. Like, yeah, make your money, be your brand on social media, but for a normal person or a more private person, like keep your relationship private.
We have a saying we've read somewhere called flaring your limbic system, and it's really that fight or flight feeling you get sometimes when you're about to get in a fight or if you're stressed out, and it's just that thing that makes you snap at other people. The more we've gotten to know about our limbic system, the more we've been able to tell each other.
Well,
like,
they said Olympic system.
Oh no, sorry. It's an Olympic-sized limbic system. Yeah, so it's the limbic system. It's a nervous thing, and it's just it's the thing that makes you freak the fuck out when you're kind of put in duress. But I got it today when Tasha had me reshoot her photo at brunch 3 different times, and there was a window, and
you guys were outside.
Yeah, and I knew that. But
and you looked good.
Well, I have to post this dress. And this sweater.
Oh my God.
So
I've never been in the presence of someone that has it. I love that.
You can take her photo then.
No, but it's Boone's birthday, right? So we went to this place in Hollywood called The Waffle. They sell woofles, like doggy waffles.
Shut up.
And I put a little hat on him. And so because it was his birthday and like I have to shoot this outfit anyway, it's like, okay, I want to wear this dress, blah, blah, blah. It's going to go great. They have like a yellow sort of theme there. Yellow and red go great. I was like, okay, so babe, I need you to take my photo. And then he took it and like got the table behind us in the background. This poor guy.
I went as far as
over his waffle.
I went as far as I could go without physically moving my seats to get a photo, and then 2 or maybe 3 more times we had to redo it after you looked at them. In my limbic system, I was ready to throw a waffle at you, and I didn't even get mad. It was like worse than mad. I was like, I'm getting like clammy thinking about how anxious this made me.
Oh,
just
yeah.
because we're on the outside and there's a wall, and then the inside people are all just eating, and I could just imagine them all looking at me, being like.
But why do you think that any of those people care about you? Yeah. It's not all about you. That's like the number one most self-sabotage thing you can do is think that everybody's looking
Honey,
about
I'm
you or
sweating,
thinking about
reliving,
you or talking
I'm reliving
about you.
this moment. But it doesn't happen to us. But it's interesting to know because it's good to know in certain instances what stresses out or gives your partner anxiety. Mm-hmm. Not to say you should avoid those instances, but that's where you kind of just it's like, do you know when Kelsey freaks the fuck? I mean, it must be before show. Like, what? Like, do you know when to just like be extra on guard as a husband?
Well, there's times where I'm like, well, it's funny that you say that. Like, especially like I don't give a shit especially when I'm outside and like we're at brunch or whatever, and I don't care what people. I'll sing or I'll say things very loudly. And Kelsey's the one that gets really embarrassed. She's like, "Oh my God, please stop doing it." Like I'll learn a verse from a Nicki Minaj song, and then I'll do my Nicki Minaj impression. She's like, "Could you just I'm trying to eat?"
All the tables around you are like, huh?
Yeah, and all the tables will look and see this fucking idiot in my fucking Red Sox hat, but then she'll want to take a picture, and again, I don't care. But it's funny that she doesn't care what people around her think about that specific situation where I'm now taking several photos. I hand the phone. This is where I get upset. I hand the phone back after taking like 9. And then she go, "Can you take more?" And then I got to be like, "You mother."
But that was me. I knew the first round of photos I kind of had to do. I understood that. It was the second round where I go, that's when she had me move. Can you go sit by that?
I'm trying to get the right angle. If you change your angle, then there's not a guy behind me.
So then I go over there and I put it in portrait mode, which punches in a little tighter, looking good. Got everything, shoes in case she needed to show those.
But what Dave doesn't realize is that when you post a photo on Instagram, because of the aspect ratio, it crops a little bit of the top of the bottom. So like my head and my shoes were gonna be cut off. These shoes match this outfit. I need my shoes.
Guys, I was ready to walk away from the relationship.
Sure, yeah.
That was before the even third time. I was like, this is how it goes down. This is it.
He's just hovering over your engagement ring, ready to take it off.
She's bloated, so it won't come off, and I'm just like, give me that thing. Yeah, I don't know, but then when you talk about things like that, and I acknowledged it, I was like, I'm really losing my shit right now.
Well, you find out how insignificant that whole scenario is. Like as you're explaining it, like I have my own story, but you guys are still here. Like there's times where Kelsey, like we did a show, and we both had great sets. And this woman who saw me, like as we're walking out, this woman who saw me, she goes, "I liked you the best." She didn't see Kelsey behind me, but she goes, "I liked you the best." Now, as we've done shows together, that happens all the time. And I genuinely don't care if somebody finds if we're all on the same show and then I hear someone go, Holly, you were out of all the comics, you were the best. That doesn't.
It's not. It's like that person resonated with
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's not personal.
They weren't getting the check during that set, so they heard the whole thing.
So they heard your shit. And but Kelsey, but then she sees Kelsey. Now this is where the woman fucked up.
Oh no.
She recognized that who Kelsey was, saw that, oh, you're one of the other comics, and rather than pay her a compliment also, she then looked away real fast.
Oh no.
Then just stood there while this other guy who was part of like the circle of, congratulating the comics sees Kelsey, and he's also drunk, and he goes, no, you were the best. Then he goes over and like half hugs her, and he's like, you were the best. And you can tell on her face, she's like, this fucking guy's making it worse. He's making it worse.
Oh no.
So the drive home, she was like upset. And I've been told, I had a woman come up to me one time and be like really nervous to talk to me. And I thought she was a fan. So she's like, I never do this. But I really needed to tell you that your whole set was vulgar and unfunny. And I thought she was joking. So I was waiting for her to say, oh, I'm just kidding. I loved you, which never came. So now we're staring at each other. And then I realized she's not kidding. And I go, oh. And she's like, yeah. And then she walked away very confidently, like she ruined my night. I went on Instagram that day on my stories, and I'm like, guys, I got a fucking great story for you, because it doesn't bother me. But Kelsey was really upset that woman took the time to...
Well, but you know what? That lady didn't say you weren't funny. She said you were vulgar.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
She's like, your comedic timing is on point.
You're like laughs per minute?
Yeah.
Good.
Pretty good.
Strong, real confident, little vulgar, but a good vulgar? Okay, all right.
But